Hello, guys. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of What's Your Story? I'm your host, Daniel Fakir, health and fitness coach, founder of Fakir Fitness. I just want to thank you all so much, whether if you're watching live or if you're watching the playback. Thank you so much for joining on. Hey, gorgeous. Thank you so much for joining on. Guys, I just want to tell you we have a special guest today. I'm very excited about today's show, as you guys may know. We have a really special guest, a great friend of mine. I see you on there, buddy. His name is Cory Jones. He is a real estate agent. Wait for him to go ahead and just tag me on. As you guys know, What's Your Story is just a show for the everyday people. We want to help everyone to be able to have an idea as far as whatever you might be struggling with. Let you know you're not the only one going through it. We all go through certain situations in our life, and we have special guests who are able to help you to be able to get through it. Cory, I see you joining in. Let me see if I can tag you in, Mike. See if he comes on. We're waiting right now. I'll let him do more of the introduction. Yeah.
Hey, what's up? What's up, yo? We here.
We made it. What's going on, brother?
How are you, bro? How are you? Let me fix my audio.
Doing well. Yes, sir.
One second for me. All right. Can you hear me good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're perfect.
Perfect. I was trying to get my background like yours. Yours is all nice. I had to try to do something, move things around, try to get like yours.
Just position a couple of the paintings and art.
I have my little art piece back there. Just razzle dazzle in the background, make it look good.
I don't blame you.
How are you?
Good. I was just letting people know what's going on, brother. So again, What's Your Story is just for everyday people, whatever you guys might be struggling with. I have special guests coming on each time, and they talk about different circumstances that they've been through and how they were able to overcome it. So right now, again, this is a great friend of mine. It's a really great friend. His name is Cory Jones. I'll let him do a little bit of an introduction. Cory, man, for people who may not know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and what do you do?
Oh, man. Okay, where do we start? Okay. Again, like you said before, I'm in real estate, but I'm also a serial entrepreneur. I have a few business ventures. For those who don't know me, I go by Cory Jones on Mr. Jones Real Estate on IG. Man, where do I start? Okay, so I don't know where to start. Like I got so many points to start. I don't know where to start from. So I guess I'll start from the beginning. I'll start from the beginning. So basically,
yes, sir.
I've been an entrepreneur from now going on almost 4 to 5 years, almost roughly. But I wasn't always an entrepreneur. I worked a 9 to 5 like everybody else, I'm assuming. And then I decided to, hey, one day let's try something different with my life, and let's try the entrepreneurship grind. And so ever since I started, I haven't looked back ever since. That's my beginning point. That's pretty much starting off. That's me. I don't know what to say.
Well said. And I mean, honestly, I feel like just like you were saying, we all had that as far as, especially people as entrepreneurs. Not everybody know exactly what path they want to take. Correct. You kind of have an idea or inkling, but you're not quite sure because you were taught something different, or whichever the career path might have taken you. You're just like, you know what? I've been working here for 5 years. Let me stay another 5 years. They're paying me well. Let me just stay here. I mean, it's always one of those things where, like, when that passion keeps pulling on you, follow it, listen to it. You don't want to be in a job, even if it's paying you well. Money does not buy happiness. Yeah, it can buy you a brand new whatever you're looking for, but it does not buy that happiness that you're looking for. Getting to your dreams, getting to your passion, that's the true success. That's a way of really being able to grow and grind. And I 100% agree with you, and I commend you, Cory, because honestly, you really do. Like, for those who may not know, Cory is like how would you say it? A jack of all trades. This man has almost his hand in everything. That's the reason why you're saying that. He owns like a gaming. What is it?
Game truck. So it's an event party company on Red Party Avenue. We do events. We do clowns. We do bounce houses. We do tables, chairs, tents. You name it, we do it. We also have a game truck. Game truck is 24-foot trailer. It has all that games system that you can imagine. Xbox, PlayStation. Nintendo, everything, anything you can imagine is on that actual truck, and we go party to party, and it's a beautiful thing. And to actually to touch on what you were speaking on about starting your journey, a little bit about my background and actually how I got into the entrepreneur space. That is, at first I was just like everybody else. I went the college route, not knowing exactly what I want to do when I graduated with a bachelor's degree in business administration. I had no idea, so the degree didn't actually help me at all. because I didn't know what field I wanted to actually land in. And even if I was
Yeah.
trying to get a job, it was extremely hard because they want
Yeah.
experience. They don't only want a degree, they want experience. So what happened was I ended up working. Now, actually, my only job I ever had was at a retirement home. And I actually started in the dish room. But my personality was so big that the chef at the time, he actually moved me to the front line. All the residents come and greet and whatever the case may be. Actually,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was there. I would say I did that for like a year and a half. I did it for like a year and a half. And what happened was one day one of the cooks, they got sick and they called out of work. And the chef looked at me. He said, "Cory, you wanna try to give the cooking thing a try?" Knowing myself, I never actually physically cooked for anybody. So I didn't know how good or bad I was actually cooking. So I just like, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and fake it till I make it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. And so when I say I went up there and you would think that I was a professional, but how I was cooking, how I was displaying it, like how I put on a show, you would almost think I did this my entire life. But not knowing, I didn't know how to cook whatsoever, like at all, at all whatsoever. So I just faked it till I made it. And so what happened was the chef seen me. He was like, "Oh my God, you have the personality. Like you're good at what you're doing. Like I want to promote you to one of the cook positions." I was like, "Yeah, I'm down for it. Or whatever the case may be." But deep down inside, I knew this wasn't what I wanted to do for the remainder of my life. Like I knew I didn't have a passion for cooking. I have the personality, I have like the charisma and everything I can display, like I'm in love with it, but I was not in love with what I was doing. I didn't have no passion, no desire to cook whatsoever. Like, I hate cooking. My wife will tell you right now, like I hate cooking. Like that's not my thing. But I'll start looking at you and think I'm an amazing cook or whatever the case may be. And so, me and my wife, we were having a discussion. I was telling her, I'm like, listen, I don't know like exactly where I want to go with my life and what direction I'm looking to go. She was like, do what you love to do. And I was like, dang, like what do you mean exactly? She like you love talking. Like talking is your thing. You love talking. I can't get you to shut up. Like talking, like something that has to do with talking. I'm like, dang, what could that be? Like what could that be? Like I talk, yeah, but do I really love talking?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, maybe. So what could that be? So what happened was I was watching HGTV one day. Just so happened to be watching HGTV. I actually love the show that actually on there. So I was just watching the shows and I'm like, man, I can actually like do that. Like I'm pretty sure that doesn't take much skill or learning or whatever. Like I'm back.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah, you're back.
All right, perfect. So I was like, dang, what can I really do in that space or whatever? So I was like, you know what, let me research it. So I researched it, I looked into it, I figured out it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be, because looking at the TV, you would think, oh my God, like I can't do that. Like that takes skill or that takes practice. Or, like I don't have that in me. But it was just one of those things. You're like, you know what, I'm putting my mind to it. I'm gonna do that. I don't care how hard it is, what I gotta do. I'm doing that.
Just go for it.
I'm going for it. I'm gonna just jump. I'm gonna go for it. So I learned. I took the class. I took the course and everything like that, and I fell into it. And when I got into it, when I say I love it. Like it's like I'm so happy I did make that adjustment in my life to where the point where I'm like I'm just happy to be in this space I am in now. Like it's the best choice I made ever. Like unheard of. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. It's hard to put in words, but it's like I just love what I do, man. It's just a beautiful thing.
No, that's well said, and that's beautiful, man. That's actually right into the next. Like, so it was literally you were escalating, you were going up the fast path in one career that you didn't really want to do.
Correct.
And it was your wife who actually like kind of introduced you to like finding what your real career path is, like what your passion is. And like you said, you always been watching HGTV. I'm not gonna lie, my wife and I, we love that show as well. Like a lot of these things, like, yeah, we can do that until it really comes down to it. It's like, oh, you mean a price point business?
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of different layers. It's a lot of different layers they don't show you on those shows.
It's a lot of different layers. Yeah. They make it look sweet. They make it look sweet, but
they make it look amazing. But once you really understand the logistics and how business actually works, it's actually you'll see that HGTV actually just put on a forefront like a show. They just show you the end result. They don't show you everything that goes inside of it. Which is fine because it's entertainment. That's all it is. But as far as the business itself, like it's a joy. It's a joy to be in. Like it's something I wish everybody was into, because again, we all need somewhere to stay eventually. Like we all have to move. We all have to live. We all have to have a roof over our head at one point in time. So I would love for everybody to actually get into real estate. Even if you're not even getting a license, just understand how real estate works. I mean, it'll benefit you, not only you, your family, your children, so on and so forth. I mean, it's such a beautiful industry to be in. I wish everybody was in it.
True, and I 100% agree with it. It's one of those things where a lot of my family members, like, they were in that route as far as like trying to build investments, and they went into like the housing market. And I didn't even realize how like what is it? How much you can make in just like as far as owning one home and then leasing it out and letting somebody else be able to, or sublet, let them live in there. So it was like, yo, they did it with one house, they bought another one, they did it with that. And it was one of those fast paced that they were able to do it to become
Correct.
millionaires. And I'm like, wow. So that's really like the route to take. So I'm very thankful, honestly, Cory, to have you in my corner, because a lot of these questions, guys, that you're going to be hearing from Cory today, it's amazing just to have that person that you're like, yo, so I'm looking at this in
Oh
this
yeah.
area. Like, what do you think? And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
no, no, no. Trust me, the reason why is that price is because of this, this, and that. So,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
to kind of
It's a luxury to have.
into
It's a
that.
luxury to have somebody in that. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, like, honestly, guys, if you can try to get in contact with Cory, this is a legitimate man. I will vouch for him. He's one of those dudes that will help you. And if he can't, he'll find someone who can. And
Oh
that's the
yeah.
amazing thing about him.
And I,
So,
I
I mean,
appreciate that big
if we
time.
can,
Appreciate that big time. Big
of
time.
course, man.
Big time.
So, I mean, thank you, Stephanie, for joining us. Thank you, Wes. I see you, Jamil. Jamil's in the building
Oh,
as
Jamil.
well.
Hey, Stephanie.
Yeah, right. You see Stephanie?
I see Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie. How are you? Yeah. So now it's
So,
so again, Daniel, man, I want to say thank you, man. Like what the platform you're
yeah,
providing for everybody, man. This is a beautiful thing. I love what you're doing. Like I tell you all the time. When me and you have our conversation, it's like our
yeah,
conversation go from hey Daniel, man, hey Cory, how you doing? I'm like, Daniel, what's going on? And our conversation take a whole hour and a half long out of nowhere. Like our conversation lasts so long and it's so inspiring. But every time I talk to you, I just feel like a sense of motivation. Like, man, I gotta do
yeah.
more. I have to do more. I have to do more. I see Daniel. He has interviews now. He has a YouTube channel. He has clothing line. I gotta get a shirt. I forgot. I'm gonna order my shirt.
Yes.
My shirt's coming. I'm gonna get mine. Don't worry. I'm coming. I'm coming. I see your shirt. I see your apparel line. Now I see you doing so much, and it's always positive. And I just love that, man. So it's like big ups to you and everything you have going on. It's like I appreciate it.
Thank
And
you.
seeing you doing your thing, it makes me want to do more with mine. So it's like I feel like I'm not doing enough looking at you. I'm like, man, I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough. Like I have to do more. Like this guy's the GOAT. Like I gotta keep up with this guy. So I mean, I appreciate you big time, bro. Big time.
I really appreciate that. Seriously, man, that means a lot to me. I mean, the feeling is mutual, as you know.
Of
I
course.
have great respect for you and what you do. I mean, to kind of dig into it, like, so what was let's say, what's your story? Like, what is it as far as what issues in life have you overcome? Where have you been, and like, where have you? How were you able to overcome in certain situations in your life?
Okay, perfect. So that's a great question. Because again, my story is not the you see me successful like right now. It's not the success you would think it is. Outside looking at it, it may look like you're just doing so great, but there was hurdles that I had to get over in my career path. Again, like
True.
any business that you actually start, this goes for any industry you're in. It doesn't matter. It can be from real estate, it can be from car dealerships, it can be from toes and hair, whatever industry you're in.
Yeah.
There's
True.
always a learning path. I want to say between 3 to 5 years. All right, before you take off to success that you're thinking you're going to get so fast, it's going to take 3 to 5 years to build foundation. Because the foundation to any business has to be solid. And so me starting off, I was not educated enough on entrepreneurship and exactly how it works. So when I started my journey, I was just going for it. I was spelling for it. That's what they say. So I'll try something. It'll miss. It doesn't work. I try something different. So I tried something else, and it didn't work. And it was that like that for I want to say almost like 2 to 3 years. So it was like a lot of go for it, fail, go for it, fail, go for it, fail, and it was like that repeatedly. And so the way I actually got over it was actually with just because me being the person I am, I'm very, very determined. If I feel like I have to, if I want to get something done, I have a goal I want to accomplish, like I'm not going to stop until that goal is actually accomplished. And so the persistence in me is what kept me going forward. And the persistence is actually how I got over those hurdles. So because I'll give you a quick story. So I was working a 9 to 5, like I told you before. And starting a business, you can't really just jump out of a 9 to 5 and go directly to a business. If that makes sense, you can't do that. That's not the path you want to go because you're gonna fail.
True.
Right? You're gonna fail.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
And so what happened was I was working a 9 to 5. I had rent. I had my daughter as well. I had bills like everybody else. So what I was doing, I was just taking the extra money I was actually saving, and I was putting that towards my business. So any extra income I had, I put the money to the side, save for my business. So I was doing that. For like year and a half, 2 years. So I just consistently just saving, because I know this is not what I want to be. I want to save for something bigger and better. And so what happened was, while I was saving, remember I told you I went to school, I got a bachelor's degree. And bachelor's degree, it ends up with a student loan, right? So with the student loan, as we all know, the student loans are massive, all right?
Yeah.
I went to a private institution, so my tuition was extremely high. It was crazy high. So what happened was I wasn't paying on the student loan like I was supposed to. So IRS they were actually taking my income tax checks. So any income tax check that I was actually going to use to save for my business, they were actually garnishing it. So I don't receive income tax checks anymore. So that actually helped me even further down the line. So where I was trying to go, I was going to use income tax to actually better and bigger myself or whatever. Nope. IRS said, no, that's not happening. So I had to figure out another route. I had to figure out another route on actually how I'm going about doing it. So even with something like that, because again, that's a big knockdown. That's one of those knockdowns. You're like, man, is it really worth it? Like, do I really want to because I feel like anything I'm doing is not working. Like, do I want to continue doing this? Like, or do I want to go back to my regular 9 to 5 where I'm getting paid? I'm getting a 25-cent raise a year. So am I happy? Like, I'm happy with that. Like, I'm fine. There's no stress. There's no stress. Like, I'm good over here. 9 to 5. I get my weekends off. I got to ask for vacation time. Like, I'm good with that. I want to live with that. But so I'm like, you know what? I'm like, no, that's actually not the right thing, because I feel deep down inside, I'm like, that's not me. That's not where I want to be in my life. I want to have free time. I want to figure out my own vacations without having to ask anybody, okay, can I take this day off? Can I take that day off? I don't want that lifestyle for me. And I want to obviously take my daughter to school, and I want to see her grow up. And I can't really do that with am I working? I'm tired when I get home. I don't have her. She want to have like an hour to have to whatever. It's not gonna work out. Yeah. And so Navigate. There you go. Yes, that's student loan.
Yeah,
student loan,
Navigate died by fire. So I agree.
That is 100% true. 100% true. So I figure out. I'm like, man, no. So that's not where I want to go. So I mean, even with that hurdle of that big, because again, that was like a heavyweight fight. That was like one of the knockout blows. That was one of those down on the campus, you're not getting up type blows. And so it was like, man, you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna still go for it. And so what happened was it was actually three signs that pointed me in the direction. Because again, my sign number one was my wife. We having a conversation, and she was like, "What do you want to do with your life?" That's sign number one. Watching HGTV at that particular time was sign number two. Sign number three was I got a phone call from a close friend of ours. Her name is Kim Mason. Big up to Kim. Hopefully she watched this.
Kim.
So Kim, me and Kim had a conversation, and I was telling her I'm getting into real estate, and then she gave me like the biggest motivation like I can ever imagine from anybody. Like she was like, "Oh my God, like you're gonna do great in this business. Like you're gonna do so good because you have a personality." Like she was just going on and on and on. Like she gassed me up so much to the point I'm like, you know what? You're right, Kim. I'm going for it. I'm going for it. If she said it, because Kim is success, like she's doing amazing. I follow her movement, like just like I follow yours. Like she's doing amazing, and so I was like, if she's doing this, she's telling me I'm gonna be good at something. Like, you know what? Full speed ahead. I'm there. Like you say less, I'm doing it. And so that's how I actually got over my perseverance and being persistent. That's how I got over that hurdle, man.
Wow, bro, you said so much gems in that. I mean, I'll start off as far as for those who may not know, Kim Mason, she does exactly as far as what Cory does. She's also a real estate agent. She's located up in Georgia. So anybody who's looking to move in that area, she's really great in that area. I saw as far as Stephanie commented, falling forward is the key to success. Cory, you just said that, and I mean, that hit me hard. Like a lot of people, they think, okay, you know what? Like I'm working here, but I'm just going to quit and go do this. A lot of times you got to see that as far as that job, not necessarily your career, but look at it as a cash flow. Okay, working here, even though it's a 9 to 5, and I know I will do this, let me work here so that way it can pay for what I want to do next. So that is something that is 100% true. I did that. I know my wife did as well. Many of the entrepreneurs who are on here, I know Sue's on there, she did the same. You use that job. Don't look at it anymore as in, okay, this is like, you know, I'm coming here just to die. Just look at it like, hey, you know what? I hate this place, but you guys are going to pay me to do what I love. So let me go ahead and take this paycheck and do that.
Exactly.
You also, in regards, hey, what's going on? Toya, the realtor is also
my sister.
Hello.
That's my sister-in-law right there, you guys. Hello, Toya. Hey, Toya.
Oh, well, hello, Toya. Thank you for joining up. Man, your whole family of realtors.
Hey, we got to live in the family, yes.
Right? You also said as far as for the money that you were looking for, as far as for the tax returns, they started getting garnished. So you had that one stipulation taken away. Right. The thing I love about what you said, truly, with all the things that were going wrong, you were just looking at the things that were going right.
Correct.
You were looking at, hey, you know what? This is something that I love to do. Like, you know, I love watching it. How can I kind of pursue it? You allowed your wife to, like, you know, kind of like talk you into like, hey, let me go ahead and do this.
Right.
And then as far as you said, as far as the last one, speaking to Kim, again, who's also a realtor, she was already in the field and she saw, like, you know, that you had that ability. A lot of times in life, we know there's something that we have an inkling of, but like, you know, people are like, hey, I think you'd be great at this. I think you'd be great at that. Not all the times they're right. They might tell you to go become a singer and you know you don't got a voice.
Correct.
But if it's something that you're passionate about, like when people used to tell me all the time, Danny, man, you're always working out, man. Can I pay you for this? I'm like, nah, this is just a hobby.
Right.
I didn't realize it was my wife that had to speak sense into me, like, Danny, you're doing something already that you love. You're already there. Like, why don't you start getting paid for it? And I'm like,
Exactly.
that's when the light bulb kind of went out. It's like, let's kind of find a way into making this an avenue where it's no longer just a hobby, because I'm already going to do it. Whether or not I'm getting paid for it or not, I'm going to work out. I'm going to want to help people. So let me try and find a way to turn that into like a paying job. And 100%, like you said, Cory, you got to find those things where even though it might be the path or career path you're wanting to take, not all of us have, you know, the rich family members who can give us $1 million to go ahead and start the corporation or the business.
True.
You got to work your way to it. You got to, like, you know, kind of bury your head in, put in that work, go hardcore in it. Wes is on here as well, and he's one of those entrepreneurs that does the same thing. A lot of us started like that. We use that career or we use that job to help us with the career path that we want to take. Yeah. Cory, man, great advice. As far as if you can give or share any piece of advice with your younger self, or with people who are struggling as far as trying to find a house or anything like that, like what would it be and why?
All right, so that's a couple questions in one. Starting with my younger self. Like me and you had a previous conversation. I was saying, like, even if I was able to talk to my younger self, like even with the knowledge I have now, would I listen to myself? Because again, once we at that certain age of, let's say between 18, 19, 20, 21, we feel like we know everything. We feel like we know it all. Like it's nothing nobody older can tell us that we don't know. We feel like we don't know already. So me knowing myself at that age, I knew I wouldn't listen to myself. It's like I gotta hear from somebody else. It can't come from me. It can't come from my parents. It gotta come from somebody outside. And that's the only way I would listen. So advice to myself, I wouldn't even advise myself. I'll just say, go through your ups and downs, go through your bumps and bruises, and you'll get there eventually. That's all I could tell my younger self. Now. Yeah, it's really deep when you think about it. It's really like, dang, you know what? You're right.
Great advice.
You're right. So as far as anybody looking to actually get into the real estate field, real estate is very easy. It's very simple. You have to be a people person. Number one. You can't have money. Money can't be the end all be all for you. So it's not really about the money. It's a people business. So you have to be passionate about helping people. That should be your number one goal. If that's not your number one goal, money is your number one goal. You can make money. Don't get me wrong. You can make money. You can make a lot of it. But it's going to feel like it's going to be a job more than just a path. It's not going to be like a career. It's not going to be something you're going to want to do. It's going to feel like a job. It's going to be straining. It's going to be stressful. Anything you can name, it's going to be that. So you want to go into it, want to help people. That should be the number one goal as far as real estate. Yeah. Advice to people who actually trying to look to purchase a home or looking to actually get into the position of trying to buy a home. I love that question as well because it's different. It's different parts, and it's where you want to start. Because a lot of people think, okay, I'm looking to buy a house. My first thing is let me fix my credit. Let me fix my credit. That's the first thing comes to everybody mind when they're looking to buy a house, which is actually not step number one. That's not step number one. That's actually step number two. Step number one is actually talking to a mortgage professional as far as a lender is concerned to see what you actually qualify for. Because they're going to look at your credit score, yes, but they're going to look at your income first. So your income is number one. So focus on trying to make as much money as you possibly can. Then credit will be secondary, right? A lot of people have it actually backwards. So talk to a lender first to see what you actually qualify financially for. Then, because he's going to tell you your credit score. He's going to tell you your credit score is XYZ. We need to get your credit score to 620, 630, wherever it needs to be to get you a lower interest rate. But for right now, your income is actually the holdup. It's not your actual credit. So focus on income. So try to get as much overtime as you can. Try to do as many hours as you can, whatever the case may be. Income. Focus on income. Income is number one. Credit will be then number two.
Man, that's knowledge that you just dropped on me as well. Like, thankfully, my wife and I, we've already been trying to do that as far as with the income. But for a lot of people who are just joining on or maybe watching the playback, Cory just dropped a lot of knowledge. So it's not going to be necessarily as far as focus too much on the credit in the beginning. It's more your income, how much you're making, what you're grossing after like taxes or so. You want to kind of work on that. So if you are working at McDonald's, trying to do your best to get up to that manager position, and then from there, like, you know, go ahead and try to go ahead and apply. And you said it's a lender that you want to speak with. That's the person that's going to help or assist you.
Correct. So the mortgage, so it's a couple of moving parts when it comes to actually buying and buying real estate. You have your lender, which is number one. You have a realtor, which is going to be number two. You have your title company, which is number three. You have an inspection company, which is number four. So those are your four main points when you're actually looking to buy a house. Those would be your 4 points of contact. But a good realtor will actually connect you with these people. Shout out to myself. So a good realtor will actually introduce you to a lender that they recommend. If you have somebody already, you'll want to reach out to them first. Once you then find out who you're qualified for, how much you're qualified for, then you want to reach out to your realtor. Once you then find your realtor, obviously going to sit down with you to go over your criteria, what you're looking for as far as how many bedrooms, square footage, single family, townhouse, condo, et cetera, et cetera. Once they go through that, you start the journey of searching for homes. Because again, buying real estate, searching for real estate is not as hard as you may think it is. It's actually very, very simple. The hardest part is understanding the financials, because that's the actual most important part. How much can you how much can you actually pay monthly as far as mortgage is concerned? So that's actually the biggest concern when you actually looking to buy a house. It's not how much of a house, how big of a house, or where city, or it's a $300,000 and $400,000. Can I afford a $1,500 monthly mortgage? Is the real question you want to ask yourself when you're looking to buy a house. So keep that in mind when you're actually thinking about when you're on Zillow, Trulia, XYZ, all the other websites. You should always think about this, like, dang, I should talk to a lender first. Let me see where I am, and then work your way backwards. So it's reverse engineering is what you want to call it. I want to start with the financials, okay? He's going to tell me whatever I want to hear, what I need to hear, and then boom, now I can start working on whatever he gives me information-wise. Now I can start working backwards. He tells me my credit. He tells me my income is a little low. I got to get it up. Okay, I can start working on that. He tells me my credit score is a little bit lower than where it needs to be. Boom, I can start working on that. But you can't go into it not knowing anything and think, okay, you know what? I know how much I make. I know my credit score is. I can afford a $400,000 house, whatever. That's not how it works. So it's like
that's not how it works.
That's a no-no. That's a no. That's not how it works. So anybody
bursting bubbles up here. You bursting bubbles.
you have to be truthful for anybody you work with. Because again, you respect truth. Because you don't want somebody to tell you what you want to hear. You need somebody to tell you what you need to hear. It's a big difference.
Facts.
It's a big difference. So with me personally, how I run my business, I'm truthful. Straight up, I tell you, hey, listen, I would love to show you this house that costs $340,000, whatever the case may be. I'd love to show you that. But you don't qualify for XYZ, and you're going to make this process extremely hard, because if you find something that has everything you're looking for, but you can't afford it, and now you can't afford it, your morale's going to drop. So it's going to make the process even harder for us to find a house now, because you're going to compare everything to that house that you couldn't afford, and now we're looking at stuff you don't want. So it's gonna make it harder. So let's take it step by step. Let's find out what you qualify for. Let me show you properties that you can ask in that price range, or probably a little bit above. We can negotiate. Everything in real estate is negotiable. We can actually walk it backwards. So instead of us jumping the gun, let's start here and then we move forward. And it's been like that since I started 4 years ago, and it's been successful. That's the steps we take to be successful every step of the way.
Man, Cory, I love it. Oh, Dallas, thank you for jumping on. Angelica, thank you for jumping on. I mean, Cory, what you said was so powerful. I know a lot of people are going to want to be like, what was that? You guys, this is going to be on my YouTube page. For those who are jumping on and need this advice that he's dropping, because I know he just dropped a rain load right now, legit.
Oh, yeah, little sprinkles.
I'm going to have to go back and watch this too. So it will be on my YouTube page. I know, right? It'll be on my YouTube page no later than Saturday. Again, it's youtube.com/VicCareFitness. All of my interviews from the past are all on there. You guys can go and check it out, because this is so much information you drop. So Cory just said, as far as you want to be able to speak to that lender, they're going to basically give you that cheat sheet. Wherever you are right now, they'll let you know, okay, this is where you need to get to for this type of dream house that you want. Don't be like, as Cory was saying, on Zillow looking at the $900,000 house.
Correct.
And you're only making $28,000 a year. Then it's going to be like Cory just said, you're going to lose that morale. You will get to there. You will be able to buy that house, but you want to work more in a realistic mindset rather than going for the fictitious and like, yeah, you know, I'm going to do this and that. And it just hurts. It hurts. It hurts when you can't get to that dream yet.
Big time.
You will get there. Trust me. You will get there. but just right now work with the realistic part.
Correct. I always tell.
We do have as far as Jamil. Oh, go ahead.
I always tell all my clients, "When listen, our first house is a starter home. Our second and third house
Exactly.
will be our mansion. So let's focus on the starter home first, and we'll trust them. When you
Yes.
stick with me, we're going to get you to where you want to be. That dream house you're looking at now. Let's follow the process. Let's start with the starter home. Eventually, and you can end up selling that when you can upgrade. And it's a continue process. So starter home,
Exactly.
one, mansion would be follow up. And that's exactly how you look at it.
That's a perfect way to kind of reshift and change that mindset. We have Jamil on here as well. I know, Jamil, you're probably still there. He also with the credit specialist, so they work hand in hand. Realtor, as far as for Cory, you can do your credit specialist right there with Jamil. I mean, we're going to be closing up soon. So guys, if you have any question, now is the time to ask it. Go ahead and place it below. We're going to go through and answer everyone's question, anything. If you guys are looking for a house for next year, you have more questions for Cory or myself, go ahead and start. Before we do, Cory, as far as in closing, how can people connect with you? How can they find you if they need to find out more about like housing or whatever it may be?
Perfect. So the best way to connect with me is through Facebook. It's Cory, CORYD Jones. So D space Jones on Facebook. My Instagram is Mr. Jones Real Estate. I also have a networking group as well, Young Professionals Growing Together. You can actually locate us on Facebook and Instagram as well. So we'll be getting into that aspect as far as the mentoring and teaching people exactly how to go about real estate, getting more deeper in education wise to the youth as well through that platform. But the best way to connect with me is through Facebook, Instagram, and again, direct my phone number. You can call me anytime. I love questions. I'm a question kind of person. Like the more questions I feel like you ask me, the better I become as a professional. So I love questions.
I love that. And that's what makes, again, Cory, like one of the best. He's not one of those people that's like, he thinks he's a master of everything. He knows that he's a student. And those type of people is who you're going to work with. Not someone who you're like, well, I read on here, this is what it says. Like, no, follow my will. You want somebody who's going to be like, oh, that's a good idea. Let's try and find out more about that. And Cory, that's, again, something that I love about you. You always have that mindset of wanting to learn more. Oh, yeah. That's what makes us great, is the fact that we're never like, just like, okay, we learn all we can. No, you're always going to have to learn something new. There's always going to be new tricks, new technology. Correct. And you want to be able to have somebody who's going to be able to want to grasp that and understand it, because it's only going to help you in the long run. Oh, yeah. So, again, reach out to Cory. Great man. Again, I vouch for him. If you're looking for a home, you're looking for a house, apartment, whatever it may be, reach out to him. He'll be there to answer the questions for you. I did see a question come in. Wes said I got too many questions. Dallas said it took us 2 years, slow and steady. Exactly. It takes time as far as to build. It was by Stephanie. She says, what do you recommend a full-time entrepreneur do in order to qualify with a lender? So what do you recommend for a full-time entrepreneur to do in order to qualify with a lender? All
right. No, I love that question, Stephanie. Great question. You always have the best questions by far.
Right?
By far. She's a lot. Okay, perfect. No, so great question, Stephanie. The best way, because a lot of entrepreneurs, what we have a tendency of doing when it comes to tax return, because we're trying to get as much money as we can back, we have a tendency of writing everything off on our tax return. So we write everything, the lights, to this, to that. We write so much on our tax return off, into where it shows our income is only, let's say let's play with numbers, right? Let's say we write off $20,000 off our tax returns, right? And let's say we only made $30,000 technically, right? We write off to $20,000. So when a mortgage lender actually gets your paperwork, he's only going to say, hey, listen, you only made $10,000 for the year.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying? So the less you write off, it may hurt you right then and there, but it actually make it better for when you do qualify. Because again, you want to show that you're making as much money as possible when you're looking to qualify to buy a house. That makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. That was wow. I didn't even think of that.
It's a lot. It's a lot because again, it's a lot. They actually they don't teach us. You don't learn this because they don't actually teach you. You have to go out and seek the education. Seek an understanding of exactly how everything works, because everything is systemized. Everything, no matter what you do, is all systemized. And so if you understand the system exactly how it works, then obviously you can play your part as you see fit. That makes sense?
Man, makes sense. Well said, bro. Well said. We do have another question. This is by Wes the Tech. Wes was on here last week. For those who may have missed his interview, go ahead and check it out on my YouTube channel. He's a music producer, artist. He basically does anything. So anybody who's trying to live, even if you're trying to make a podcast, check out that interview. It was amazing. Wes asks, do you have to have a lot of capital to actually buy a home?
So a lot of capital as far
Good
as
question.
properties wise, or as far as businesses or whatever the case may be. So it's a double party question. No, you do not have to have a lot of capital, to be honest with you. It really, because again, it's all about the money you actually make. Because they're gonna tag it to what's called a DTI, a debt to income ratio. So they're gonna look at your debt, how much debt you have, how much income you have, and it's gonna then weigh exactly your scale. They're gonna put you exactly, because there's a number they're looking for. So if your debt, let's say you have student loans, you have car note payment that you have to have, anything attached to your social is technically debt. So medical bills, student loans, let's say a car per se, let's say you have a mortgage. Those are all debt because they're all attached to your social, right? Then you have your income.
Yes.
Obviously, that's the money you make, okay? They want your debt to be lower than the income you actually make. And that will then give you a number of how much mortgage you can actually afford, right? So that makes sense?
Yeah.
So you want your debt to be as low as possible. So if you have like a car payment that you're going to got like 4 payments left or whatever the case may be, try to pay that off.
Yeah.
Try to get that off your debt. If you have student loans, obviously we all have those. Try to pay on your student loan. Not everything, obviously, but what you can or whatever. Make sure you're making monthly pay. Make sure you are making the monthly payment because you don't want that to affect your credit in the long run.
Yeah.
And again, different small little things. Credit cards. Never close a credit card. If you have a credit card, never close it. Because again, that actually hurts you. I think Jamil spoke on this, or he will speak on this, or whatever the case may be. He's the credit guru. So never ever close a credit card, even if you have 30 of them. Just if they're just a negative balance, zero balance, leave them at zero. Never close them. But again, you want your debt to be as low as possible when you're actually looking to purchase a home. Because again, that'll give you what's called leverage. Because the more leverage you have, the more opportunities you can actually make for yourself. So it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing once you understand the financing. Because again, like I said before, the financing is the main point. If you understand exactly how the financing works, you have opportunity. Like you said, Daniel, in the beginning, you can buy a duplex, live in one side, rent the other side out, and you can get a duplex for 3.5%. So you can technically live rent free in a duplex. So you live on one side, rent the other side out. The other side is paying your mortgage every month. That's possible. People are doing it every day, and the money you're saving, you can actually use that money to then buy another property. So now you have 2 properties instead of 1. So it's all about how you exactly, and it's all about how you leverage your financing. That's why financing literacy is very, very, very important.
See, guys, I told you this man's gonna give so much great advice. You're killing it over here. You are. I see another questions. Down payment. I'm not quite sure. I guess are you guys referring to like might be a down payment? How much would you have to put down on the house? John, what's going on, brother?
Okay, perfect. No, I love to answer that question. That's one of my favorite questions. Okay, perfect. So there's 3 types of ways you can actually go about buying a property. Okay, you have your FHA, which is basically a first-time home buyer. Let's use that analogy. First-time home buyer, FHA. You have then what's called a conventional loan. A conventional loan is actually a little harder to actually be approved for. And you have your VA loan. Okay, actually, it's 4 ways. You have your FHA, you have conventional, you have VA. A VA loan is veteran. So if you are Army vet of any sort, right? So that's another way. And also cash. Okay, so those are 4 ways you can actually go about buying real estate. Cash is number 1. Cash is king. If you have cash, you can pretty much do anything. Okay, you can negotiate high, you can do whatever you want. Like the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want when you have cash. Cash is king. Okay, boom.
Yeah.
Second behind cash is conventional. Okay, a conventional loan is normally a higher down payment. It's normally it's starting with 3 to 5% of a down payment. FHA and VA loan, you can tie them together because they're pretty much one and the same. It's just one with the VA actually pays your down payment for you. With the FHA loan, it's 3.5% of a down payment is what's needed. Now, let me add this in here because a lot of people always look at condos first. They always think about when they're going to buy a house, they're going to buy a condo because they're cheaper. But condos do not accept FHA. It's a big difference. Condos require a conventional loan or cash. Now, when it comes to a conventional loan, in condos, they require a much significant down payment. They require a 20%, sometimes 25% of a down payment for a condo.
Sure.
So it's a big difference. Even though the price point may seem low, you may see a condo right now. You can go check a condo for 80,000, 90,000. So there's so many condos. But the thing is, your down payment has to be 20%, sometimes 25%. to buy actually
Wow.
down on the condo. Then you have your closing costs. So you have your 20% down payment, then you got your closing costs. And your closing costs can be another big ticket, another 1%, let's say 1% of the purchase price. It can be very, 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 very pricey. But in the long run, it does really pay off, because if you can afford the 20% and you can afford the closing costs, you can afford a condo, that would be ideally your starter home is what you want to get into. But another level when you can actually take it to, when it comes to FHA, you can buy what's called a townhouse. A townhouse is not a condo.
Yeah.
A townhouse is a single family. It's like a single family home, but it's just conjoined together. So you have your neighbors, which is connected to you. It's spacious, right? Lovely. Everything you can imagine. It's everything you need in a starter home is in a townhouse. A lot of people are swayed from townhouses because they have what's called HOAs, homeowners associations. A lot of people try to avoid associations, but all associations they're not bad. Some are great, some are lovely, others can be pain. But again, that takes your due diligence and understanding where you're going and who you're really trying to be. But again, affordability wise, a townhouse would be the perfect starter home for a lot of individuals. Townhouse. My first house that I actually purchased is actually a townhouse. So a townhouse for me is a starter home. Now I can sell my townhouse and go buy a single family home. So it just basically, you want to get your foot in the door. That's all we need. We want everybody to get your foot in the door. Your foot in the door, no matter how big or how small, whatever the house may be, just get your foot in the door. That way we can create longevity for you and your family. That's the goal. Yeah. That's the goal.
See, that was another, man. Again, please go back and watch this.
You gotta do a rewind. You gotta do a rewind. You have to do a rewind.
You just dropped knowledge on me, including with the condo, because my wife and I, we're looking at the condo aspect just to kind of see, like, kind of compare it with homes and other things like that. It's like, oh, it's not that bad. But man, great advice, honestly. I saw another question that came in. Edward, what's going on, brother? Edward is on here. That is a great friend of mine. Edward, I may have to put you in one of these episodes. I'm not going to lie to you. Let's see. So I see, as far as how often can you qualify for an FHA loan?
Okay, perfect. So let's say hypothetically, Daniel, let's say you buy a house this year, okay? And let's say you want to now sell your house or move from your house. It's 2 to 3 years. You can actually refer back to a lender because they changed so much. I believe I'm not a lender, quote unquote. I'm not a lender. I'm just a realtor. Normally it's 2 years. It's a 2-year waiting period before you can actually get another FHA, right? So now. I'll tell you something offline because obviously this is being recorded. But additional gems to that trick. Message me on Facebook, you guys. I have more gems I can display. Trust me, it's a lot more deeper than what I can tell right now. What I can put on display is a lot deeper than that, and it's more creative ways about how you get more FHA loans. Man, it's a lot. It's a lot. Trust me. It's a lot.
I understand. Cory, time is very limited, so we'll just do as much as we can. But as far as Cory was just saying, like, it's going to be 2 years. For more information on that, please feel free to reach out. I was also asked, this is by Sue. She says, are there any down payment assistance programs around right now?
Okay.
Amazing question.
All right, perfect. That's a lovely question. Okay, yes, there's down payment assistance, but you do want to reach out to your local lender. Reason I say that, because down payment assistance does not last all year long for every particular city. Certain cities, like, for example, the city of Coral Springs, let's say Margate, Tamarack, they all have different time periods where they actually give out down payment assistance. So it's only be for select a few months. So let's say they'll do February, March, April. Then they'll stop for the year. They don't want to come back until probably next year. And they'll do August, September, October. So it really all depends on each city. Each city has their own disbursement of funds that they actually give, because city gives out funds because they want people to come into their city. They're trying to bring as much people into their city, so they try to give as much money away to actually get people to actually purchase homes inside their cities. But each city has their own timeline as far as when they actually go about giving out funds to the cities. So to add on to that, so I don't want to take up too much time, but you can talk on this type of topic for a while. But a little thing you guys want to do when it comes to down payment assistance, you don't want to really get caught in that aspect, because a lot of things, it's a two-sided coin to that down payment assistance. One, if you purchase down payment assistance, you cannot sell your home within the first 10 years. If you do sell your home within the first 10 years, they're requiring you to pay that money that you actually got from that down payment assistance to pay it back in full. Right. So they don't tell you that when you're applying for it, but it is in the fine print. The little fine print at the bottom of the screen is there. Yeah. So it'll tell you have to live in this property for 10 years. If you sell it before the 10 years, that money is required for you to pay back.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a double-sided coin. So if you do get into the first-time home buyer, you want to make sure it's somewhere you do want to live for a long period of time, because again, you don't
Yeah.
want to have to pay that $10,000, $15,000 back, whatever it is. You don't
No.
have to pay that back,
No.
right? You don't want to pay
No.
that back, right? So you do want to know if you're going to purchase a property. Make sure it's not an investment property. Make sure you're not trying to just buy it, fix it, flip it, and then sell it, because again, you're going to lose
Yeah.
your $10,000 that you actually put into it, whatever the case may be. So make sure it's a long play, not a short-term play. Make sense?
Wow. Makes perfect sense. So guys, as you just heard, read the fine print. Everything that you're reading, don't just be like, oh, you're giving me 10,000. Okay.
Yeah,
no,
right,
read the fine print. Yeah. Find someone like Cory. Cory will be that person that will let you know exactly what he just said. So before you fall into the trap of, yeah, this is just free money. A lot of times, well, not a lot of times, just basically all the times, it's not.
Correct.
So read the fine print. Find someone like Cory who can assist you and help you in understanding what are the, I guess, the cause and effects
Correct.
of what you're signing up for.
Very true.
Man.
Very true.
Awesome job. Let's see if there's any more other questions on here. Cory, man, I got to thank you, bro. You're dropping so much knowledge.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you for having me. Let me be a part of this experience, man. Because again, like I told you before, man, like it's a blessing, man, for you to be doing what you're doing, to me see you doing what you're doing. Because a little story while and Danny, we actually go back way to 6th grade. So we actually met in 6th grade, like middle school. We actually met in the year 2002. And we're here now in 2020.
Stop throwing my age out, man.
My bad. He's older. But like I said before, man, age is a beautiful thing. Like the fact that we are where we are now, I'm so happy to be in this position of I learned so much. I've been through so much that I can actually teach to you what I learned and what I know and the knowledge I have. Because again, like you spoke about before, our parents didn't have the same knowledge we have now. Like, because knowledge is given to us. It's on YouTube. It's in a book. We have the ability to find the knowledge and actually apply it to whatever we're trying to do. We can install that now into our younger generation, to our kids. Because my daughter now, she's trying to start her own business now, and she's only 11. So she's trying to start a business now. So it's like, because she sees what I'm doing, and then she's one of, because again, you as a youth, you mimic what your parents do. You want to do what your parents are doing. Because again, you want to make your parents proud, number one. And you want to do something you see they love what they're doing. Like, oh my God, I want to do that too. So my daughter's she's following right behind my footsteps. So she want to become a realtor when she get 18. She want to do everything like she see me doing. She want to mimic it. So it's like, age, man, is a beautiful thing. Like, embrace your age. Everybody they say you're old. Yes, I'm very old. I love being old. Yes, that's me.
Older and wiser.
Older and wiser, baby. Old and wise is what we call. Look at a shirt. Old and wise, man. Old and wise.
That's a goal right there, bro. That is amazing. Huge shout out to you. And I mean, honestly, that's so true. My sister-in-law Sue, my brother Josh is on here. Their son is 13. Same thing. He's like, yo, I see you guys with the YouTube channel. Correct. Shout out to them. That's the plug-in JSF the Care. They have a YouTube channel, and like their son is like, yeah, I see what you guys are doing. I want to do the same thing. Correct. So they're now actually at the spot now where they want to talk with him and see like what he wants to pursue, what he wants to do with that YouTube channel. Correct. So not only help him grow, but to be able to understand, like, as far as how it is to be able to do what you're passionate about, love what you're doing, and just like grow with it. So I mean, it's amazing. And exactly what you said, bro, you nailed it on the head. The knowledge and information that we are receiving, you can get it at your fingertips now. Everybody has a smartphone. So that information that you're looking for, the thing that you're passionate about, if you still don't know what your passion is, go to godlywithgirl.com. She has what's called thepurposelegend.com. She'll help you find your passion. That's another plugin. Man, I'm good with this.
I told you,
for music, go to West.
Look at you.
Credit repair, go to Jamil.
You was
If you need realtor, go to Cory. Just shoot them all out. But yeah, seriously, like, there's so much information that is out there available to you right now that you're able to get. Like, don't just let your time slip away. Don't let your time pass. Yes, it's hard. As far as what Cory was saying, it's hard when you're going to go to school. You have to pay through loans. Oh, I got as well. Oh, Dallas, if you need bakery. Exactly. No, keep it going. But yeah, don't let, as far as like going to schools, hinder you or slow you down. You'll be able to learn on your own. A lot of people right now, they're learning on their own. They're just going on YouTube.com. They're going to Barnes and Noble. They're finding those books for dummies, how to for dummies. Correct. Yes, I mean, honestly, it might be a longer process, but at least you're learning, and you're learning it all for free.
Correct.
Cory, amazing information, amazing job. I mean, I don't know what else to say, bro. You're killing it.
Listen, I'm following your blueprint. You keep laying the foundation. I'm following your footsteps. Like every move you make, just know I'm right behind you. Like everything you do, I am following you, and I appreciate you, my brother. Like I'm behind you. Like, I tell you, you're my motivation. Like I look at you as my motivation. So when I wake up in the morning, I go on Instagram, I see Daniel posting something else. Oh, here we go again. I gotta go. All right, let me get up. I want to take a day off, but I can't. He didn't take a day off, so I can't take a day off. So that's how we motivate each other. Without even saying, without even having a conversation, just know like I see you, you see me. We're motivating each other without even having a conversation, and that's a very, very powerful thing to have. Again, your circle is most important. If you don't take nothing from this conversation, understand your spirit influence means a lot to your life because you are the few people you hang around with. So if more people in your group is not doing good, they're not going anywhere in your life, you're the fifth person. You're going to do the same thing they're doing. So get around people who are same motivation as you, have the same goals, not just in the same industry. Somebody in the opposite industry, but they're going this way. They're going up. Surround yourself with that because again, having that energy around you is such a powerful thing, and it's going to lift you and push you in ways you had no idea or nothing you ever experienced before. Like it is such a powerful thing to have, man. So Daniel, again, with that being said, thank you, bro. Like I appreciate you, big time. I can't say how much I appreciate. I can't put it in words. I'll probably write you a little note or something like that. But saying it right now, I can't get it out. But man, I love what you're doing, Steph. I love what you're doing. Again, just follow Steph. Everybody, like your brother. I subscribe to your brother's YouTube channel as well. So I support those that support us. So I support everybody. If I see you doing positivity in your life, I'm going to support you. Like then I see you doing positive. Like I'm going to promote you like I'm doing it. I'm going to promote you like I'm doing it. So it's like if I see you doing great, I love positivity, man. That's all it's about. Positivity. Surround yourself with positive people. Positive will come out of it eventually.
Man, Cory, I couldn't have said it any better, man. Thank you so much, bro. Much love.
Man, pleasure, bro. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. So thank you.
Thank you. Before we close out. Before we close out, I'd just like to do as far as a prayer for those who may not know Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. We not only like to help people as far as in the physical aspect and learning and all these other areas, we also wanted to be able to give you an opportunity to know Jesus as their Lord and Savior, be able to grow spiritually. So it's just a simple prayer that you guys would say with me. It just goes as far as Lord Jesus, and I repent of my sins. I ask you to come into my heart as my Lord and Savior. And amen. That's it. That's simple. Just go into a Bible-based church. Go to a Bible-based church. You'll be able to learn more in there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Next week, guys, you guys are going to love this. We just close out with the prayer. I have my brother. My brother's actually going to be on next week. Next week, Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. His name is Joshua Fakir. He is a pastor. He is a youth counselor. He is a relationship counselor. Anything that you're looking for in all these aspects, if you guys are having any issues that you're dealing with, again, on a faith base, if you're trying to find a person that you want as far as for a spouse, or if you're having spouse or relationship problems, you want to join in next week. I mean, tell your friend, tell everybody, because this guy, when I say he impacts my life, and it's weird. It's so weird when, like, because when it's a sibling, like, man, I know you. I don't want to, whatever. You can do that somewhere. But when I say this man inspires me, and I'm his brother, and I see his lifestyle, and I'm like, yo, what you do, I want to become like. You guys are going to want to be there. Trust me. It's going to be an amazing, amazing one. Again, next week, Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Joshua Fakir. Don't forget to join on. Thank you guys, everybody, for joining on. Cory, I can't thank you enough.
Appreciate you, bro.
Please tag them, join them. Yeah, I know everybody's talking about like the housing market for next year. If you guys need more information, more questions, join in with Cory. Join in with the Young Professional YPT.
YPGT, Young Professionals Growing Together.
Young professionals growing together. As Cory was saying, you want to surround yourself with a group of people who are like-minded, who are looking to grow and not just stay stagnant. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Love you all. Cory, again, man, thank you so much, brother.
Man. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you.